Copilot to optimize digital journeys of these HCPs across channels. I'm going to start my presentation with a regression study that we did using a cohort of 97 GPs and more than 50,000 data points by channel, more than 30,000 questions done by these GPs in our AI Copilot. So our idea here is to see if these predictors that you see on the table can influence the probability of a GP to open an email, open a push notification, or engage with social media. And with social media, I'm talking specifically about Facebook and Instagram. So before diving into the results of the study and then show you a use case of how we are using this type of data to optimize omnichannel, I'm going to explain you what is our AI Copilot, how it's being adopted by the physicians. So Tonic AI is our AI Copilot for physicians that is part of a wider suite of resources in our platform, Tonic. Tonic is present in France, Spain, Italy, and we're now expanding to UK and Germany. So our physicians can use it through mobile or web, or even through the Chrome extension in the web. So showing you a little bit what's behind our AI Copilot. We want to build the safest AI Copilot in Europe. So we are already, of course, preparing for EU AI Act. We actually known yesterday that we were recommended for certification of ISO 42001, which is the AI Responsible Management ISO by BSI. And we're also in the final stages of making our medicines model a class 2A medical device, also with BSI. So I want to show you a little bit of our governance. Our governance, of course, extends to all dimensions of our company, people, and product. But a big part of this is, of course, risk assessment, not only of the tools, but also of the models we are using, suppliers. Two main risks that we are identifying, among many others, is over-reliance of HCPs on the AI, same as in our everyday work with ChatGPT and other journalistic tools. But also commercial bias for us is important because we work with life sciences companies, but for sure we don't want to give commercially biased recommendations to our physicians. We are also developing specific guardrails like PII guardrail and also pharmacovigilance guardrail. So I could spend all my time talking about this, but I'm happy to take your questions in the end. The highest, the risk with the model with the highest risk, our medicines model, fetches information from the SNPCs of each regulatory authority of each market. And this one is the one we are certifying as a class 2A medical device. And this one, of course, has also clinical validation, benefit risk analysis, and post-market surveillance. This is just examples of the tests we do to our models. The drugs model, the medicines model, has now over 25 tests, plus performance tests. So there's a lot going on the backstage. We pushed our company to be in the forefront of the regulatory landscape, and this is paying off not only, of course, in safety for our doctors and patients and their patients, but also because as a company we've been learning so much with this process. So, as I mentioned, Tonic AI is part of our wider platform who has more resources than just the AI Copilot. But the AI Copilot is now driving exponential engagement of our platform. Since May last year, it picked up exponential growth with our physicians, and besides, of course, increasing the number of actions in our platform, we're also retaining users plus 36%, and our power users increased plus 87%. In total, we already have basically 55,000 doctors of all specialties using Tonic AI, and many more using the wider platform. We're now converting the laggards to using our AI Copilot. Something I also like to share with you, because we always think mobile is king. Actually, our company was called Tonic until recently. We've now changed because we are omnichannel. But the behavior of the physicians is also changing. Of course, mobile is king and will still be king. But the truth is that the web channel allows for more complex use cases with AI. So we are seeing the usage of our web platform increasing steadily since we picked up exponential growth. So now at roughly 20% of the usage of Tonic AI specifically. So what are physicians doing in our AI? So here I'm showing you data by category on the types of questions they are doing in knowledge retrieval. On the left-hand side, you have the intent of their questions for all specialties, so for our all 55,000 users. And on the right-hand side, you have the intent only by the GPs, which is the cohort we're analyzing today. Okay, so you'll see that you can see already a significant difference. The GPs seem to do much more knowledge retrieval for diagnosis and pharmacological treatment compared to the benchmark of all specialties. I also thought it would be interesting for you to get to know the distribution of the questions of these GPs by therapeutic area and volume. So the largest categories in terms of questions are neuroscience, then cardiovascular area, gastroenterology, infectious diseases, musculoskeletal, and then more like a long tail, but all of these with very significant volumes overall. Just for you to have an idea, we now have more than 3 million questions of doctors in our database. So let me show you the results of our exercise, and then I'm going to show you how to use this type of resources to optimize digital journeys for HCP engagement. So in this slide, what you see like our predictors that I showed you in our first slide. You have gender, age by age group, and then you have the intent of the question, and then you have the therapeutic area of the question. On the first column, in the percentages you see, it's the volume of these questions. So you have an idea. And then you see basically the factors that predict for each channel either opens or clicks if we're talking about social media. So first thing is that let's first comment about gender and age. These are simple demographic variables, but I don't know if it's the same in your databases, but if you are a female doctor, the chances that she opens an email are much higher if they are male doctors. We derive gender using the names of the doctors, and so it's an approximation. For the age categories, we see something interesting going on over the years. These days, and very specifically for push notifications and emails, the older doctors are the ones who are opening these channels. Not as such for social media, and still we're talking about Facebook and Instagram, which are kind of like old social media networks. Push opens a bit younger doctors, but email opens definitely much older doctors. Then we have the factors that are driving opens or clicks by intent. You'll see that administrative questions are driving both social media and email opens. Diagnosis is also driving email opens, and science is driving push notification opens. You can see different breakdown by therapeutic area, of course. So my first point to you is that not necessarily the categories who are of much larger volume are the ones that predict behavior. Can be very small categories like some of these that you are seeing, like admin questions among the high volume that GPs ask about diagnosis and pharmacological treatment questions. So this is an academic exercise, but to show you that we are using this type of knowledge to optimize HCP engagement HCP digital journeys. And then we are also, of course, using AI behavior to create marketing automations that facilitate these journeys. So I'm going now to show you a concrete example. So this was a launch campaign of a combination product in the cardiovascular area. The target specialties were GPs, internal medicine, endocrinology, and cardiology. This is what we designed for our clients. So in this case, and remember that we are analyzing intent to be able to do a better channel mix. We found out that in this case, the best predictor would be diagnosis intent on the physician's questions. So we prepared a digital journey or a set of digital journeys, which centerpiece was the SCORE2 cardiovascular risk calculator, who supports physicians in evaluating risk of their patients. And this really worked beautifully across the different sets of digital journeys that we've created. The main difference compared to other launches that we used to do in the past is that it's not just focused on like omnichannel, but is, on product promotion, or product information, just talking about the novelty. We are doing it through, in this case, diagnosis to get to the product novelty, okay? Also, it's worth noting that not all communications are branded. Some are not, of course, sponsored, but not branded, and this is the ideal mix that we see working. Also, of course, we took into consideration different channels that would resonate with the different age groups of the physicians. Now, what did we do next? We used marketing automations to deliver those communications. I'm bringing here the example of an automated email campaign that we did, where physicians would receive the product launch email after executing the SCORE2 calculator, or after asking a question in our AI copilot that included a specific keyword of interest. In this case, for example, among many other, CV risk, cardiovascular risk, dyslipidemia, atorvastatin, or the name of other statins. Another important part of this, from what we do, is the copy of our communications. So we want to be personal, relevant, next to the physicians, not only, for example, in using these automations and intelligence to deliver the right communication to the right doctor, but also the content of that communication matters a lot. So we have our own medical team rewriting the copy for our clients from doctor to doctor with much less marketing speak and more technical speak. We don't also use banners, images, things like moving, nothing like that. Very simple emails, okay? And then this is some of the results. So on the table, you see the result of the launch email delivered in bulk to the target specialties, and we have a 37.9% unique open rate with a CTOR, so the doctors who opened the email and clicked in one of the links of 0.3%. The same exact email sent 15 minutes after meaningful interaction, either the execution of SCORE2 or a question in the AI with some of those keywords you saw, delivered a 48% unique open rate with a 6.1 CTOR. Also, the beauty of this is that this doesn't need to be just segmented by the target specialties. We actually left the journey open to be able to qualify physicians by behavior, regardless of the target specialties of our client, which were these four that I've mentioned here. This email delivered to other doctors outside these target specialties had a 47.4 unique email open rate, even though with a lower CTOR, but still with a CTOR higher than the bulk email sent to the target specialties. Also very nice is that we don't just deliver the numbers, we also deliver the questions that triggered the marketing automations. You can see on the left, on the other table, on the left, on the right, on the left. So these are very nice examples, but the point is that we use this real-world information that the campaign gives us back to further optimize its runtime. So I like to end with these messages, and also would love to save some time for Q&A. But this is a lot of my personal experience here, not just what I've talked to you. But my point is that AI is not the future. Actually, intelligence is already a commodity as we speak. Physicians are getting smarter because they're AI assisted. Remember that over 50% of our user base adopted Tonic AI in just a few months, and the engagement is growing exponentially. Their work will become more fluid, specialties will become more fluid. Web search, as you know, is being replaced, at least in a significant part, by Search AI. You have Google running after OpenAI. This means that the market will be much more fragmented than it is right now. So being where HCPs are matters more than ever. Real-world intelligence also matters more than ever. I'm a medical doctor also by training. I really don't believe in PMR. So I believe that we need to get our insights from real-world interactions. We do this for our company. We did this to optimize our product for the physicians, and we give the same to you. Remember also that AI will also enable a lot of noise. We are already seeing that in social media, in politics, unfortunately. So what we don't want to be is on the side of the noise that AI is generating, just like internet and social media did. So our solution to facilitate the AI adoption by HCPs cannot just be AI. It needs to be AI with a strategy behind it, or else we will just be contributing to that noise. And another point about I/O, I didn't mention it at all in my talk, but it's something that we are observing. So we're talking about AI optimization, like as compared to SEM, SEO. We all need, and same for our company, to prepare for and be more discoverable by the AIs out there. I'm just going to finish up with an anecdote from, one of these days, talking with one of our clients in obesity, they were basically complaining that our AI was not mentioning their product when the doctor asked an open question, which is actually very rare, like treatments for obesity. And we did a deep dive on why wasn't that happening, because of course they are mainstream for obesity treatment. And the main reason, and we have analyzed, we have this special test where we analyze the importance that the machine gives to specific keywords. And we've seen that for all drugs, and I'm going to mention the commercial brand Orlistat, all their documents, including the SMPC and including the indications, said treatment of obesity, These newer drugs, they usually say management or treatment of weight loss. They don't use the word obesity in the indication in the SMPC. So basically what the AI was doing was giving less weight to loss of weight than obesity, and so it was favoring older medicines. So this is a beautiful example on how you write your documentation, even still on the regulatory side, will matter a lot, or is already mattering a lot, in the discoverability of your products and of your key messages by HCPs and patients alike. So thank you. I would love to take your questions. Thank you.